How repopulation is connected with employment in rural areas. In the second video, we explore what is the connection between repopulation and employability in rural areas. I will start by reminding you that rural environment shouldn't be limited at agriculture. The rural environment is no longer synonymous of agricultural work and has become the place of a variety of typical rural activities. The decline of agriculture has led to the emergence of non-agricultural functions. Environmental and nature protection aspects were gaining strength, hence the growing demand for leisure activities such as tourism, hunting, fishing, and even the reception of those who intend to live there temporarily or permanently. With the growing demand for this type of activities, the problem arises of responding to the offer of these new services, which until then were untapped with rural societies. It is necessary to include other variables such as rural non-agricultural activities resulting from the growing urbanization of the rural environment, like high-standard housing, rural tourism, leisure and other services, environmental preservation activities, in addition to a set of intense agricultural activities such as fruit farming, fish farming, small animal breeding, which seek market niches for their economic insertion. Recently, many rural areas are becoming more competitive and the population is receiving new investment and attracting new companies and services in order to increasingly diversify economic activities. As a result, there is an increase in the rural population. Another factor concerns a social reason. With the increase in the demand for new uses of rural spaces by the population of large centers, leisure, housing, tourism, etc. Due to the new functions of the rural environment such as leisure, housing, tourism, environmental preservation, or headquarters of industrial and service companies, new social group of interest representation for these themes have emerged such as consumer associations, ecological movements, sport associations like mountain biking, walking paths, or associations for local development. These new social actors are looking for and exploring opportunities to gain from the development of new activities. Economic activities in recovered villages. With the repopulation of the recovered villages, economic activities directly linked to this renovation took place, such as hotels and similars, cafes and bars, restaurants, crafts, social-cultural animation, tourist guides, organic farming. Participation in agricultural activities, intervention of tourists in the grape harvest, more precisely in the harvesting process, in the bakery process, intervention in handicrafts, working with clay, basketry, painting. Employability. With the need to accommodate visitors in the villages, the appearance of hotels and similar ones occurred, which led to employment opportunities such as receptionists, responsible for reservations, event coordinators, maintenance technicians, for example, swimming pools or air conditioning equipment, marketing manager, hygiene and safety technicians, laundry operators, cleaning employees, and chambermaids. Likewise, it was necessary to create restaurants, cafes, and bars, which led to employment opportunities for cook, kitchen helper, waitress, bartender, and room managers. Crafts consist of economic activity of recognized cultural and social value based on the production, restoration, or repair of goods of artistic or utilitarian value, of traditional or contemporary roots, and the same provision of services of the same nature. This was a sector of rapid development, giving old and new artisans the opportunity to present their work, the creation of small handicraft shops that worked to support the recovered village. Let's explore together how sociocultural animation can help us. Sociocultural animation is a set of social practices that aim to stimulate the initiatives as well as the participation of communities in the process of their development and in the global dynamics of social-political life in which they are integrated. Thus, the recovered villages must take on a wide range of activities of animation, and therefore, once again, there is a strong link between the recovered village and the employability. The tour guide is a professional qualified to guide visitors through tourist routes. The tour guide acts to accompany groups of tourists who visit the recovered village, providing information on the cultural and geographical manifestations of the region, as well as assisting tourists during the visit. Organic farming is the farming that does not allow the use of synthetic chemicals that are harmful to human health and the environment. With more followers in the world of healthy eating, here is a chance of great employability in the recovered villages. Adventure sports are used to designate sports with a higher degree of physical risk. One of the benefits is certainly fun. The feeling of self-overcoming, of accomplishing a goal, physical well-being, and overcoming one's limits are the assumptions that many people look for in this activity. The recovery of villages assumes imperative contours, which results in many job offers and makes people settle in the villages again. The diversification in rural areas is essential for the development of non-agricultural activities inside and outside the farms, having in mind the creation of new sources of income and employment. Crafts and micro-enterprises are created with recognized cultural and social value based on the production, restoration, or repair of goods of artistic or utilitarian value, of traditional or contemporary roots, and on the provision of services of the same nature, as well in the production and traditional preparation of food goods. Craftsmanship is the product obtained by the exercise of artisanal activity, which implies loyalty to traditional processes in which personal intervention is a predominant factor. The rural heritage is constituted by material and immaterial elements. The rural world has a culture, built natural and landscape heritage of infinite wealth. This heritage needs to be preserved. There has been a significant increase in activities related to organic farming, seen as a source of supplementary income for farmers and local population. There has been an increase in demand for this resource in several areas, namely in gastronomy, tourism, and the pharmaceutical industry. Recognizing the value of the past, protecting and valuing the rural heritage, making it known, accessible, and interactive with rural population is an indispensable task in maintaining ecological balance, preserving self-esteem, and economic, social, and cultural development. Tourism in rural areas has its characteristics, offering users the opportunity to revive the cultural, gastronomic, and cultural practices, values, and traditions of rural societies, benefiting from their accommodation and a personalized welcome. Seen from the perspective of rural development, tourism in rural areas is one of the best placed activities to ensure the revitalization of the rural economic fabric, being as strong as possible to endogenizing the resources, the history, and the tradition and the culture of each region. The relation between repopulation of recovered villages and employability will be successful if a balance between the ecological, socio-economic, and cultural systems of the area is guaranteed.